because it will show. If you have a pimple on your face, but you act like you don't have a pimple on your face, we might overlook the pimple on your face. But if you're like, oh my gosh, got a pimple on my face, we will that we will know.
Models like us.
Hello. Hey,
Hey,
this is Demanti.
Hi.
He
hey,
has,
how are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good.
he's an agent and a scout.
Hey,
Can you tell him a little bit about yourself, Demanti?
okay. Well, I'm from South Carolina. I started doing this 10 years ago when I was going to South Carolina State in Orangeburg. And I moved to New York after I graduated, so 2013. Yeah, and then I was in New York until 2016. Then I moved to Atlanta, and currently work with about 150 models, and pretty much built it from the ground up. Found 90% of them personally, and then others were from referrals or other scouts. So,
And can you tell us a little bit about some of the agencies that you've placed your models with?
well, currently we have a really good relationship with IMG and DNA. Those are like the main two we place models with, but we have people with Red and Maryland and Heroes as well. But right now we have about, I think we have five with IMG. So IMG is probably front runner as far as New York placements, and then in LA, to management and Vision. Those are the two that we mainly go to in LA. Well, I'm just gonna give some feedback for both girls first. Don't do anything to your eyebrows. If you pluck them, shape them, don't do anything to them. Just let them grow. For both of you, I think a little. Well, yeah, I would say a drastically shorter haircut would definitely help. Like maybe along the jawline. Yeah, I think that would definitely look less conservative. I was telling Brandon, like, in the South, everybody has conservative hairstyles. Like, it's not really helping them. It helps them blend in, but as a model, you want something that's gonna help you stand out a little bit more. So, jaw length would probably be a great length for you to start, because when you talk to other agencies, they might be like, okay, go shorter.
Do you feel like she would fit into high fashion? I feel like she has an androgynous look about her.
I think more so, yes. And I think the hair would help, but I think the editorial route would go. Yes. Can you pull your hair out of off your forehead, or either way, just or straight back if it stays back. Okay. And same thing, like I said, a little shorter. You have a look that's kind of borderline. It's more on the commercial side, but it's bordering commercial and runway. So you just want something that can help you teeter on both of the spectrums. Not me personally, but some agencies may ask you to go a lighter hair color. I think the length is the first step before anything. And you also have a strong face. You just have a wider jaw and wider cheekbones, so it just makes your face look a little rounder. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's just about how the complete looks pulled together. Like I said, with the eyebrows, just make sure they're as naturally as bushy as possible. Even some people take toothbrushes and push them up to make them look furrier. So you just need to know when to use it for commercial appeal, or when to use it for like a more editorial edge.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brandon with you today with Models Like Us. I thought it special to bring in Demanti O'Bryant of St. Clair Models. He's the owner and creator, and he's worked with a bunch of different clients and placed models in a lot of large agencies internationally as well. He's worked with Marc Jacobs, Gucci, and placed models in agencies such as IMG, New York Models, and the list goes on. He is it. So how do you feel?
Good.
I know it's a bit cold, but please bear with us. We have Demanti O'Bryant with us today, and he is the owner of St. Clair's modeling agency. Demanti has worked with clients such as Marc Jacobs and Gucci, and he's placed a number of models in top agencies globally. Demanti, can you explain a little bit more about yourself?
I was finding people just on my college campus in Orangeburg, South Carolina State University, and it organically grew, and I moved to New York right after college, and I spent 3.5 years there, then moved to Atlanta. It grew from 15 people when I first started, and now it's at about 135 worldwide, mostly in the Carolina, Georgia area and New York area. Some notable people that I've discovered is Makai Lucky, Shaq West, and recently brought on Princeton Perez. So it's really about finding which person's gonna be right for each place, really pinpointing development and hitting the ground running. In today's world, it definitely takes personality. I think that's always remained true, but in the social media era, they definitely want something else. I have people that are truly unique, but the personality is kind of dull, and we just have the look to sell on. Sometimes it works that way, but having a dancing talent, or I play a musical instrument, aside from the typical I'm a model and I want to act after that, because those are stories like they hear every day, probably hundreds of stories that way. It's just better to have something that connects to the average teen, the average college student. Not everybody is just going to take pictures all day. Are you involved in sports? Are you involved in outreach, activism? One of the more recent successes has been Morgan. He's from Charleston, South Carolina. I found him on Instagram because he went to a music festival, and 6 months later he was able to do Saint Laurent in California, and then do Moschino in California as well, and now he's signed with IMG Worldwide. So he had never done it. He was 18 at the time, and it's just about, okay, it could work. I think it'll work, and let's see if everybody's on the same page as I am. If you can give a lot of time to modeling, definitely, but do not put all of your eggs in it. Figure out what your other interests are. Some people have branched out to music or acting, but clothing, design, it's really based off of your own personality. You don't have to try to be someone that you aren't because you think that that'll get me to a Kylie or Carly. It's like really optimize what your genuine interests are and let the stars align and fall where they may. My perception of success is that you're happy in what you're doing, and you can afford a roof over your head and food in your stomach. That is my, if you can do what you love and it's at least paying you what everybody else that doesn't love what they're doing is doing, then that's my idea of success.
Well, I guess because you didn't really address like the money thing. I guess kind of a detailed explanation of like low and high and all the in between.
Okay. So money usually ranges depending on the job and depending on the usages. So shows don't pay as much of a campaign. Lookbooks are between campaign and a show pay. Usages is like the term it's gonna be out 6 months, year, 2 years, the exclusivity. If it's like a makeup contract that you have and you can only work with like L'Oreal, you can't do Rimmel London or Maybelline, it's that contract. So that justifies the rate. Show rates for girls, like 500 is actually on like the decent end, but like 2,000, 4,000 is on the higher end. Exclusives can bring in 10,000 sometimes. So it's really about the exclusivity of it. You can make somebody's year's wage in a day, or it could be an uphill climb. Shows are on the lower pay of the spectrum, so per day, per show, you're looking at like 500 to 2,000 reasonably. And they might fall a little bit under that, they may fall a little bit above that. And in campaigns, everybody wants fragrance campaigns because those are the ones that pay the most. So you can look at $100,000 sometimes for like one job, but it might be a year or two usage, and it might have exclusivity. You can only work for this fragrance brand. The contracts and the exclusivities determine the amount. But if you're a free bird and you can do any show, you can do any campaign, then you're going to see the lower end of the money.
I have a question. Okay, so like when you're just starting out, how do you recommend like getting your name out there and like branding yourself on social media?
Hashtags do help. Some people have somehow landed on my Explore page, even if they had 2,000 followers, landed on my Explore page. One of them being like the highest earning model in my agency. Like we talk about, I don't know how you came across my page, because general friend support helps too. Because the more activity they're bringing to your image, even if you only have 2,000 people, if 1,000 people are on your team and always liking, it's going to almost measure out of someone that has 10,000, but 90% of them are random people. But having a ton of followers isn't the only thing. Most of my models, I want to say at least 95%, don't even have 10,000 followers. So that doesn't justify success. It can be something that we can bend the height a little, or we can bend the measurements a little if they have a presence. It's almost like a currency. Okay, here's my followers. I know I'm not the tallest, or I know I'm not the smallest, but look at my followers. And their runway won't be probably where they excel at. So to give them a direction, okay, if shoots are where you excel at, be well read on history, on art, because that all has something to do with it. You can't just do the 1, 2, 3 pose. You have to really embody whatever garment you're wearing and whatever theme that's that they're trying to accomplish. Yeah, I mean, rejection doesn't dictate how I feel about a model, and I think that is one of the blessings of me not interning under agency, is I have my own perception of what I want to see and who I'm inspired by, and I really want to push for that person, and still just hope for the best. But I can work hard for someone that I believe in, not just someone that someone else believes in, so I should do it. If you believe as much in you as I do, then hopefully, this is gonna work. Because some people, I want them to do it so bad, but they have so many hesitations. But it is a lot of work. It is, for the most part, on the front end, gonna be a lot of struggle, a lot of sacrifice. I tell models all the time, if you're not sacrificing, then I don't want to hear it from you. Like, if you are still in South Carolina, but you're not booking, I don't think you get the right to complain when someone has dropped everything and moved. Start with Kelly, then Jordan, then Dana, then Jacqueline, right? Okay. How long have you been walking, practicing, modeling?
Not long. I kind of started a little bit in like August. And then I guess more consistently October. Yeah.
The walk is good. You're just gonna have to practice different pace. Really just relax the arms. Some people walk with their arms behind them. Some people walk on the side. Whatever is more comfortable to you. It's not a set one that all the girls have to do. But yeah, definitely like the lean is really good, and also the stride is pretty good. Okay, well, your walk is good. It's just like really study your face in the mirror, and then see how you want to command attention. It's all going to come from the eyes for the most part, but you always want to keep your chin just a slightly lowered. Yeah. The walk is good, but I want to see a different one now. Can you do it with less hips? I have nothing wrong to say with it. How long have you been working on it? How long have you been modeling? It seems fun to you.
It is fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Thanks.
The walk is good. Just keep your chin a tad down and don't use your head to turn. So just use your just use your leg.
A great job, like seriously. Like, were all of you there the episode where we did a crash course walking?
With the mirrors?
Yeah. I think Kelly wasn't there, but I mean, you still did great. Like, from that point to now, like, really good. Like, most improved is Jordan. Like, you really did. As you know, the modeling industry can be tough. So hypothetically speaking, now we're going to give it over to Demanti, and he's going to kind of explain who he would choose to possibly give a contract to based on today's meeting, and why or why not.
I mentioned more commercial, like runway here and there, but more print, not commercial print. So I think that will still be your strong suit. I think having your hair that length is good. Just make it super slick against you, like no frays, no nothing, and then just all one color. For me personally, since my agency is more runway built, then you wouldn't be the right fit for me. It's by no means saying that you don't have a chance at walking shows, because clients could just be like, okay, we just love her. Dana, first critique, you have makeup on. Based off of today, I see there's potential for me to see where things would go. As of right now, out of the 4, I would see where it would go. You appear to be the youngest, is that correct? Okay. I think you have potential. I think you can grow a lot personally. That just comes with maturing, having a sense of self, and really being able to push that out there. But the look is great. The walk is pretty good to have started only a few months ago. So it's really gonna be just working, pummeling it down. Jacqueline, you have the most personality and you're the most outspoken. And that goes more so in the public figure social media realm, which like I've claimed I'm no expert in. But I do think that is your strength and something that is more yours off of first impression. They're like, okay, if it's a walk thing, we're liking Dana. If it's a print thing, that's really edgy, we're possibly liking Jordan, right? We love red hair, Kelly, I'm doing good with names. Kelly, but they love saying she's green. So for me, Diana would be the most of a fit. Super confident even in that imperfection, because it will show. If you have a pimple on your face, but you act like you don't have a pimple on your face, we might overlook the pimple on your face. But if you're like, oh my gosh, I got a pimple on my face, we will we will know.
Cool. Group hug.
Group hug.
Good job.
I'll hug y'all too.
Bring the sweater in.
Models like us.
Models like us.
Next time on Models Like Us.
You can wear it with anything all year out.